What is going on, guys? Sonic and the Bean Show here. Today we're looking at the brand new Jada Toys Mega Man and Iceman figures. I am smiling so hard right now. I have been waiting for these ever since they were first shown off at San Diego Comic-Con in 2022, and I'm so excited right now. These were like my most anticipated figures ever. I'm a huge Mega Man fan, and it's always exciting to see a new Mega Man line because they don't ever last that long, and it's very rare to have a line that provides a lot of Robot Masters from a certain game or just in general, really. So I feel like this line has the potential to do that in the near future. But I do want to have my full thoughts on these two before I talk anymore. So let's take a look at the packaging. So you can see it's almost similar to the Jada Street Fighter figures, but like it's like in, just like a sort of box this time, not like in that arcade style really, but it's still like kind of small and short, and you can see the figures and their accessories. But we do got the Mega Man logo up here. I like how you have the life bar here to the side, and then you got the artwork of Mega Man and Iceman right there, which looks really cool. The top just has an open window right there, and then the bottom, not much going on there. But here is the side. You got the 8-bit Mega Man right there, the logo up there, and then you can see for Iceman that it does like continue here to the side, which is really cool. Here is the other side right here, which is pretty much the same thing. And then here is the back. Well, we don't really, you can see Iceman's power up right there, but here is, we'll just look at this for example, but here's the back, which looks really cool. And you can see there's also Fireman, because Fireman is also in this wave. But we got some other ones that I'm actually excited about too. Gutsman would be really cool to see. So that right there was their packaging. So without further ado, let's go ahead and crack these two out of the box and take a closer look. Okay, so here's the figure out of the packaging right here, and wow, geez, where do I even begin? This is impressive. This is like everything I wanted in a Mega Man figure. Not even just this Mega Man figure, but even like the Iceman figure. Like after like messing around with these figures, I've instantly fell in love, man. Everything I've always wanted, where like the sculpt is really good, and it captures that classic like Mega Man design, and where like the scaling isn't too off with these figures, and articulation is great, it's posable, of course the accessories that it comes with, and it's like affordable. Like this is everything that I've always wanted, and these figures are actually, not only are they really good, but they're like really fun to mess around with, especially if you're like a huge like Mega Man fan like myself. You're going to have a fun time with this one. You're going to have a really great time with this figure. What I really like the most here is I like how the armor is, at least like the dark blue, basically where the armor is like a shiny plastic. As you can see, you see how like, the light blue isn't really, but it looks really nice. I like how it stands out than, the regular blue right here going on. And then what's really cool is you can see like a lot of shading going around there too, and it looks really good. Let me actually get a close-up here on the head sculpt, because this is what I also like. Now I do have a paint like speck here on the eye that I'm gonna have to get rid of, but that face, man, it captures that classic Mega Man right there that I really like. And even the interchangeable head sculpts with these guys look really good too, and the paint is actually really clean here. You can see that right here, like this part right here for the helmet, and again the really nice shading and like that gloss finish going on here with the plastic. The eyes, I don't know if my camera's like really capturing that, but it seems like there's like a pearlescent paint going on with the eyes that kind of brings it out. And I do like the outline they got going on here with the eyes as well, which is nice. And here is like just the rest of the torso. Like I said, the dark blue is gonna have like that shiny like gloss to it. And then here is the bottom of the boots right there, so you can see that is actually painted. Alright, now jumping into the accessories. So this is going to be the head sculpt, and then you are going to get the two-fisted hands once you take the figure out of the packaging. But here is the other interchangeable head sculpt right here. So this is basically Mega Man, where he's a little bit angry this time, or maybe a lot more angry here. And you can see this one also looks really good. This doesn't have like that speck I have here on this, on the eye right there, but this looks really good. You do have interchangeable hands right here, so you have an open hand, and then you have this hand right here, which I'm assuming this is for him to like hold on to his Mega Buster, you know, when he does like a charge shot, really. So you do have these interchangeable hands right here, and then of course you gotta have the Mega Buster, which is really nice. And again, these interchangeable pieces do still have that shiny plastic sort of look to them, and like some really nice shading going around there too. So that is really cool. And then that's painted red right there. So you have that, and then the last accessory, which of course is, you know, the charge shot. As you can see, this is just a, you know, transparent yellow plastic right here. So you have that, and then, you know, your regular stand with the two hinges, and then the base going on there. So you know, it's the same as the Street Fighter. Okay, now let's get into the articulation, but real quick, I do want to point out that I did put the Mega Buster here on this time. The way how you switch this out is, you know, you have to take this part out from the arm. As you can see, it's right here, and then you just put the Mega Buster on there. That's pretty much that. So it's similar to, you know, the Sentinel Mega Man or the DRs, you know, where you have to take that arm part off. So that is how you interchange that. So don't worry if you know, if you think you're gonna break that or anything. But for the head, so the head is actually, let me actually just show you really fast. But you can see there is a hinge up here, and then there's a ball peg going on down here. So for the head, you do get some, oops, not moving the torso, but for the head you do get some pretty nice movement, as you can see. So with the hinge, you can have Mega Man actually look down just about there. Well, if I wasn't using the torso, but I mean, even, you know, even then you can have Mega Man look down just about there, which is really nice. And then looking up, I'd say about here without using the torso. It's not like terrible, but I mean, he can still, you know, he's still able to look up. Maybe the head's a little sitting too high, but yeah, he can look up pretty well actually. And then to the side you get this much, and then that much right there, which is fine. And then you have your full rotation there. For the shoulders, full rotation there. Hinge to the shoulder wants to go, I'd say it's just about horizontal. You get that much for the shoulder. And then you have your single jointed elbows. Using the one for, you know, the Mega Buster, you get this much range, which honestly, it's not terrible. I think this is still good enough. And then, you know, moving the arm up, it's, you know, it's even better. So this is fine. It looks like it's about the same as just the Mega Buster, which isn't terrible. I think for the single jointed elbow, this is actually pretty good. And then you can actually rotate this. I think that's what I was, yeah, that's what I meant to say. You can rotate this, really. Rotation to the wrist, and then the horizontal hinge going on there. Now for the torso, so we actually have a double ball peg going on here. There's one up here, and then there's one right here. So you can actually rotate this, and then you can have Mega Man crunch just using this. Not so much, you get that much, and then just using just the top part, you get just about there, which is actually pretty well done. And then, you know, to the side, not so much using the top part, but then the bottom, you do also get rotation using that. This is actually a soft plastic, so you do get a lot more movement from that. So using this and then the top part, Mega Man can still like look down pretty well with that. And then you can also use the hips using that, but it's pretty good. And then back, you can have Mega Man you know, go back like that, which is pretty nice. And then to the side, you get that much there, and then just this much right there, which, you know, still I don't think is terrible. So I do actually like that. For the hips out to the side, honestly, it looks like Mega Man can basically do full on splits right there, which is really nice. So I really like that. And then kicking high, wow, look at that. He can kick forward really high right there. And then kicking back, not so much, but you can have him kick back if you move the leg a little bit to the side right there. And then you have a thigh swivel, and your single jointed knees, you get that much range. So it's not the best as like compared to the Sentinel a little bit, but I think this is okay. But yeah, you can rotate the boot. And then for the ankles, it goes far back about here. Doesn't really go far forward, but you do have your ankle rocker, which is actually pretty well done. So that right there was the articulation for Mega Man, and it may seem a little limited or so, but you know, due to the scope of this guy and how small he is, I think this is actually impressive because I mean I can still pose this guy pretty well. Obviously he can't pose as good as the Street Fighter figures because you know the size and the single jointed elbows and knees really, but for Mega Man, like I can still do a lot of the poses I want, you know, to do this figure with, you know, like I don't think it's really that bad, and it's probably the best Mega Man figure I can actually pose around with the best without like having something fall off or so, or it being awkward with the hips. Like this is actually still a fun Mega Man figure, and that's something I've always wanted for a while. So this is really fun, and it's cheap too. You know, it's cheap too. So I am just in love with this Mega Man figure, man. It's just so fun, man. Alright, now let's get into some figure comparisons, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Before I do like any other franchises, I do want to do Mega Man first. So let's compare Mega Man to some other Mega Man figures from other companies before I get into other characters. So here we have the Funko Mega Man figure, and they look about the same height, I want to say. I know like the Mega Man Funko has like a big head really, but I think they're about the same height, I want to say. I think like just this part's just a little more like taller really, but I want to say they're just about the same height. So yeah, if you have this figure, then you'll know that like this figure is gonna be the same height as that one. Here is the Mega Man fully charged figure from Jakks Pacific, and these two also look about the same height. It looks about, yeah, I want to say it's pretty close. This is kind of cool to see because you know, it's cool to see like the video game counterpart next to, you know, the cartoon from the fully charged cartoon that was on Cartoon Network, or Boomerang. I think it was Cartoon Network. But yeah, that's really cool to see right there. Here we have the D-Arts Mega Man figure right here. So this is going to be bigger, which I wasn't really surprised because the D-Arts figures are usually always small. But it is going to be smaller than the D-Arts Mega Man figure, so just keep that in mind. So we have that, and then here is the Sentinel Mega Man figure right here, and this is also going to be taller than this one, as you can see. Let me actually put his head a little bit up, but yeah, so it is going to be a lot taller than the Sentinel Mega Man, which is a shame because I also have the Cutman. So here's the Sentinel Cutman figure, and I mean I guess it's not the biggest deal because Jada Toys is making Cutman too, but this right here was like my favorite like Cutman figure. It's still my favorite. And ooh, now let's do this one right here. I'm actually gonna like this. Here is the D-Arts X figure. Whoa, hold on for a second, let me actually bring that back a little bit. But oh, okay, so this is actually pretty good. I actually like this comparison, which this makes sense because you know X is taller, of course. So yeah, I like this. So here we have the classic Mega Man, and then Mega Man X right here, which is really cool. So yeah, I like this comparison. This is actually really cool, and since we've had the D-Arts X figure, we got to do this comparison. It wouldn't make sense if we didn't do this. But here is the D-Arts base figure right here, and honestly this can still work because base is supposed to be slightly taller than Mega Man. Even the D-Arts Mega Man was smaller than this figure too. So yeah, I think this can still work. This is actually really nice. Yeah, I like this. These two look really great together. So yeah, that's Mega Man, the Jada Toys Mega Man with the D-Arts base figure. Who else? Oh, I almost forgot, of course. Here is the Funko Dr. Wily figure. So Wily is gonna be taller because I think the Funko Mega Man figures, or at least I think Dr. Wily was like about 5 inches, so he is going to be taller than Mega Man right here. But this is going to be your best Dr. Wily figure, you know, yet really. But he doesn't look too bad with Mega Man right here. I think this can still work. So yeah, that is Mega Man with Dr. Wily. Here is the Jazzwares Gutsman figure. This is still to this day like my favorite Gutsman figure. Probably the best Gutsman figure, honestly, just because it's like the most accurate game design or artwork of Gutsman. And you can see, I still think this actually looks good. Mega Man can actually look up to Gutsman like that, because Gutsman should be big like this, you know. So I like this. Look at this Mega Man with this Gutsman right here. Okay, let's do this comparison right here, for those that were curious. Now for Dr. Light doesn't really have a lot of figures. I think the closest you'll probably get for this size is probably the Kid Robot, but even then that's too small. But for Proto Man and Roll, I feel like their best figures is probably going to be the Kotobukiya model kit. I don't even know if I said that right, but the model kit figures, basically. Obviously they are going to be too big, but if you want to see how they scale, they're too big, unfortunately. So that sucks, because I really do like these figures, but they are going to be a bit too big with the Jada Mega Man figures. So yeah, if you want to see how that is, there you go. Let's do one more right here. I can't forget this one. Here's the D-Arts Rush figure right here, and these two actually look really good together. Look at this. So here's Rush in Mega Man, and they look really nice together. I actually like this. So yeah, the Jada Mega Man can go with the D-Arts Rush figure, and then here is the D-Arts Met figure right here. I don't know why my camera is like off centered, but here's the D-Arts Met right there, and that also looks pretty nice. And then if you want to add some more friends with Mega Man and Rush, I do have the Jazzwares Beat figure right here, if you want to see how that is. I don't know where my Eddie figure is. I don't know where I put it. It's probably like in a bin with a bunch of other stuff, but I believe that's like close to the same scale as this, really. But yeah, these actually look really good. I think these can still scale with the Jada Mega Man figure. Okay, now moving on to other franchises, here is Mega Man next to the Jada Toys Street Fighter figures. So we have Ryu and Chun-Li right here, and you can see Mega Man is basically a perfect scale right here. I think this is exactly where Mega Man would be at if, you know, he was next to Ryu and Chun-Li right here. Here's Mega Man with the Jakks Pacific Sonic figure. So you can see Mega Man is going to be taller. And I'm mainly doing this comparison because I am like a huge fan of the Sonic and Mega Man Worlds Collide comics. So this is kind of cool if you want to do like some sort of display right here. Here is a Smash Brothers display. So here we have the SH Figure Arts Mario figure. And then here we have the Figma Link figure right here. But yeah, that is how the Jada Toys Mega Man figure is with the Mario and then the Figma Link figure right there, if you want to see how that is. And then one final comparison, but here is the Jada Toys Mega Man next to the Mafex Classic Spider-Man and then the Marvel Legends VHS Wolverine figure. Okay, and next up is going to be Iceman. Now, Iceman's going to be pretty similar to Mega Man in some spots. With the aesthetics, with Mega Man, he had like the glossy finish going on with like the boots and then, you know, the forearms and the hands along with the helmet. And that's pretty much happening with Iceman, you know, the hands and the boots really. But it's actually happening here with the fur of the hoodie right here. And it's a little hard to really see because it is like, you know, plain white. You know, so it's pretty hard to see like that shine going through because of that, but it is actually there once you get the figure in person, except for the belt. I'm not really seeing that with the belt going on here to the waist, but it could be there, but it's not like as shiny as you know, these parts right here along with the fur going on here. But I will say Iceman, even though Iceman's not like one of my favorite like robot masters, really, nothing against him or anything, he just wasn't up there for me with like Cutman and Gutsman. But I will admit, this is a really nice Iceman figure. I feel like they definitely captured that really well of how Iceman looks, you know, in the game and like in the artwork, really, because this looks really nice. And Iceman is you know, going to be shorter here. He is like a a shorter guy compared to Mega Man and other Robot Masters. And I think they did a phenomenal job capturing Iceman here, right here, because this is actually really, really nice. I really like this. I've never really like paid attention to this as much. I think it's like a jetpack that Iceman has here, so you have that like sculpted on. A really good sculpt all around the figure. This part right here on his hoodie, and even the bottom of the boots are actually painted red, just like Mega Man. Some parts seem like they're reused, really, which I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, since a lot of them have like that same style, really. Like, I like how you can see like the small little eyebrows here up top, and just the expression. Iceman just has like a really sort of goofy expression, but I like the little guy. I think this is a really nice representation of Iceman right here. So let's go over the accessories really fast. So you have, this head sculpt, and then, the two fisted hands you're going to get once you take the figure out of the packaging. But you are going to get this head sculpt right here. And this is pretty much the head sculpt you use for when Iceman is, blowing, like the ice sort of shards, or, the ice like effect that he does, really. So you have this, and again, this is actually really, really nice. They got the green going on there with the eyes, since Iceman's eyes are green, but really nice sculpt going on there. You do have interchangeable hands. You have this hand right here, which is pretty much the gesture he does when he's blowing the ice particles really out of his mouth. And then you have an open hand right here. And then of course Iceman does have his ice effect right here, and then the same standard two hinges with this, and then the base right there. Alright, now let's get into the articulation. So it's going to be similar to Mega Man with the hinge at the top and then the ball peg going onto the neck. However, due to the sculpt going on with like the hoodie, it is going to be pretty limited. So to have Iceman look up, I would say, without moving the torso, you're going to get this much, which I guess isn't too bad. But, I feel like if you moved it anymore, it's going to bump into this. So not the best range there, but I don't think it's really too bad either. And then to look down using that hinge, I'd say you're gonna get this much, because this is also coming in contact with the belly right there. So you get this much for Iceman to sort of look down, but there isn't like really any pivoting going on there with the head sculpt. Not really a whole lot going on there. So you are really just gonna get your full rotation for the head. For the shoulders, full rotation there, hinge to the shoulder, which goes high about here. I think that's more range than Mega Man. I think Mega Man was only able to just get horizontal, so you get that much for the hinge to the shoulder. You do have your single jointed elbows. Well, if I can, there you go. Yeah, your single jointed elbows right there, which I think is about the same range as Mega Man as well. And you can rotate that. You do have rotation to the wrist and a standard horizontal hinge. This one doesn't seem to have a lot of good range though, so you get that much going on there. For the torso, there is just one ball peg, of course, because Mega Man had the double. But for Iceman, I would say, well, you do get rotation, and I feel like the belt is a little soft, but you are going to get your rotation going on there. And to the side, I'd say you get that much. To the other side, that much right there. And then for back, not as much, because this part is already coming in contact with the belt anyway. And then to go forward, I'd say you're probably getting just about there. So not a lot going on there for the waist, but I think it's like not terrible. You can still move the little guy around, but again, it's a small figure. He has like a small torso and waist, so there's not a whole lot Iceman can do. So for the hips, well, out to the side, I mean, it's not terrible. You get this much for Iceman to go out to the side for the splits. Kicking forward, Iceman can still pretty much kick high. I don't know if he can kick as high as Mega Man, but I think this is still okay. And then to kick back, I'd say you're going to get just about there. Then you can move that a little bit more to kick out to the side. Then you have your thigh swivel, your single jointed knees. You're going to get this much range. This one seems to want to bend a little weird, but yeah, you get this much range for the knees. And then you do have your boot swivel right there, and then the ankles can go far back about there, and then not really far forward of course, but you do have your ankle rocker. So yeah, so that is the articulation for Iceman. So yeah, he is going to be limited in some areas due to, like, you know, the design of the character and, you know, the stuff that's going on with Iceman, but he is still posable, so I do like that. And he is a lot smaller than Mega Man, because he is, like, you know, a short little guy too, so there's not a whole lot you can really do, but I think they did a phenomenal job. Okay, now jumping into some figure comparisons, here is Iceman next to the Mega Man figure. So you can see Mega Man is going to be taller than Iceman. You know, like I said, Iceman is a short guy, so, you know, this should, you know, be accurate right here. But yet Iceman is going to be shorter than Mega Man. And then let's bring on Dr. Wily. So here is Iceman and Dr. Wily and Mega Man, and man, I really love this comparison, man. These are really just fun to compare with other Mega Man figures, so I really like this. But yeah, let's have these two right here. But yeah, here's Wily, the Funko Dr. Wily figure next to the Jada Toys Iceman. And then let's just have some fun with this one. But here we have the Mega Man fully charged Iceman figure from the cartoon. So this is just kind of cool to see the video game, the one next to, you know, the one from the cartoon. And it's kind of funny how, like, they're like the exact same height. I mean, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because his hair is like that in a way, but yeah, you know, it's just kind of funny just to see, you know, the cartoon and then the video game here. So yeah, pretty much that. Alright, so that is going to wrap up this review on the Jada Toys Mega Man and Iceman figures. I really love these two already. I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun with this Mega Man line without a doubt, especially if they keep the train going with the Robot Masters, because that's something I've always wanted as a kid. I've always wanted a huge roster of Robot Masters from the Mega Man games in action figure form, and the fact that they're coming with additional accessories and interchangeable head sculpts and hands is just a wild dream to me. I know that the Bandai 66 action line and the Loyal Subjects did something similar, but this is huge because these are in the 1/12 scale. So that's why I was so excited for this line when it was first revealed, because again, this was something I've always wanted really in a Mega Man line of toys. And this could probably be my favorite line to collect now, along with the Street Fighter line, because I've just been having a blast with those figures as well. I don't have too many gripes, honestly. I do think Mega Man's skin tone is a little yellow compared to Iceman. I feel like Iceman's skin tone looks a little bit better compared to the Blue Bomber. But other than that, I've had a lot of fun with this review, and I'm looking forward to getting the rest, like Fireman and of course the second wave. So let me know what are your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you want to pick this up, this is up for pre-order on a lot of online retailers like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth. I've had mine pre-ordered on Amazon, so it's possible you could still find it up there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, but until then, take care, my friends.